Hey everyone, welcome to our group channel. The movie begins with Barry in a bakery, ordering a sandwich before heading to work. Next, he receives a call from Alfred informing him that some thieves have stolen poisonous gas from a building. When he arrives, the place starts to crumble, so he calls Batman for help. But Batman was already tailing the thieves on his motorcycle. The top part of this building was a hospital, and there were many babies in the room, falling due to the building's destruction. So Flash tries to save all the children using his super speed. At this point, his energy was low. He needed more calories. That's when he stopped time and ate some things from the microwave and the refrigerator that were falling and saved all the children. One after that, we still see Batman following and defeating the thieves. They were falling from the bridge along with the poisonous gas. Batman and the thief are left hanging from the bridge. Wonder Woman appears and throws her lasso, saving both of them. Flash shows up, but everything was already resolved. So he goes back to the same bakery and no one notices that he had left. Then he arrives at work where he gets scolded by his boss for always being late. After work, he meets his old friend who is a journalist. She tells Flash that she's working on his father's case and is sad because she can't help, as all the evidence suggests that his father killed his mother. The next day there will be a hearing in court. At night, he goes to his old house, remembering the day his mother died. In fact, that day his mother needed a can of tomato sauce and his father went to the market to buy the sauce. Barry stayed in his room. After a while, Barry heard his mother screaming. There were thieves who stabbed her and ran away, but his father had also arrived. However, when the police arrived, they thought that Barry's mother was killed by her husband. When the flashback ends, Barry is very angry and sad. He runs very fast. While running, he accesses the Speed Force and travels in time, but he returns to his time and goes to talk to Batman. He said that if his mother hadn't died in the past, his father wouldn't be in jail, so he wants to go back to the past and fix everything. But Batman tells Flash that it would be foolish to do that, because if such accidents hadn't happened in their lives, they would never be who they are today. If his mother hadn't died, he wouldn't have become Flash. And similarly, if his parents hadn't died, he would never have become Batman. But Flash still doesn't believe what Batman says. He puts on his suit and uses his speed to travel in time and reach his past. When his mother goes to the market, he puts the tomato sauce in her basket. So when she comes home, she will have the sauce and his father won't go out to the market. After fixing all this, Flash is running again, returning to his present. Meanwhile, a strange being punches Flash and he falls back in time to when he was 18 years old. Upon arriving, he goes home and is happy to find his parents. He feels he did everything right by going back to the past, but then he sees through the window that the Barry of this time is coming home. Let's agree here to call the present Barry Barry 1 and the past Barry Barry 2. Barry 1 explains everything to Barry 2. Then he discovers that today is the day Barry 2 received his powers to become Flash. He tells Barry 2 that he needs to get these powers at any cost, otherwise he won't be able to return to his world. After that, Barry 1 takes Barry 2 to a laboratory where he had gained his powers. But Barry 2 is scared. They argue a bit about this. A lightning bolt passes through both of them and Barry 2 receives his powers, but Barry 1 loses his powers. We see Barry 2 very happy after getting his powers. He goes out on the streets and causes many accidents. So Barry 1 makes Barry 2 understand that he needs to control. After that, they watch on TV as General Zod says he wants someone Earth and he will destroy the entire world if he is not handed over. Barry 1 thinks he's talking about Superman and thinks everything will be fine if he finds the other superhero. Here he remembers that at the time General Zod attacked his world, he couldn't help Superman because he had just received his powers. So he starts looking for the others and discovers that no one knows about the Justice League. Without finding Wonder Woman and Aquaman, Barry 2 says that a Batman lives in Gotham City, but he doesn't know much about him. When they arrive at Wayne Manor, they find an older and retired Batman because he had made Gotham City a safe place. He explains a bit more about time travel. Barry 1 asks a question about Superman, but he refuses to help. After a while, Batman tells that many years ago an alien baby fell to Earth in a capsule, but a criminal team captured him and he could be this world's Superman. Hearing this, Barry 1 says they need to save him at any cost. When the three arrive at the facility using Batman's ship, they start defeating the enemies one by one. Barry 1 lends his flash suit to Barry 2 because only he had powers. More soldiers appear and Batman defeats many of them. Later, they go to the place where Superman was in prison, but they find a very thin and weak girl. They are surprised to see her. An alarm is triggered. Barry 1 decides to take the girl and also his suit that was there. They manage to leave the facility with the girl. Here the soldiers surround them, but upon leaving, the girl recovers thanks to sunlight and regains her power. She is furious for being in prison and starts defeating all the soldiers. After that, the two Barrys along with Batman take her to the Batcave, discovering that she is Superman's cousin. Thus, dressing in her suit, she reveals herself as Supergirl. She leaves, refusing to help them because humans don't deserve her help. When she leaves, Barry 1 realizes that they will have to face General Zod's army alone and has the idea to try to regain his powers if he is hit by lightning again. He builds a machine with Batman, so without success, and is very injured. Far away, Supergirl realizes that Zod's army will end that world. She returns to the Batcave and finds Barry 1, who was very injured. She takes him to the sky where he is hit by another lightning bolt. He regains his powers and Barry 2 returns his flash suit. Then he creates a suit for himself using the old Batman suit, cutting and painting it. Supergirl confronts Zod while the two Flashes and Batman face his army. At this moment, we discover that Zod had killed Superman before he arrived on Earth. Supergirl fights intensely against General Zod, but Zod is more. He defeats Supergirl and she ends up dying, as does Batman, who sacrifices himself trying to destroy Zod's ship. After that, both Flashes decide to go back in time together, where they revive Supergirl and Batman. But every time they go back in time, Supergirl and Batman end up dying for some reason. Barry 1 understands that they can't do anything about the past, which means they can't change their fate in this world. Barry 2 doesn't accept this and keeps trying to save Batman and Supergirl over and over again. Barry 1 interrupts him, saying that it's not going to happen and that we can't change fate. Meanwhile, they see that the multiverse and timelines are about to collapse. This happens because Barry 1 and 2 tried many times to save Batman and Supergirl. Here, many multiverses are shown with various superheroes from alternative realities. At this moment, the supervillain who had punched Barry 1 also appears, and he is none other than the future Barry 2, who spent thousands of years trying to save Supergirl and Batman, but still hadn't succeeded. Barry 1 forbids him from continuing, saying that some things can't change and he has to give up. But the future Barry 2 has lost reason and attacks Barry 1. However, Barry 2 steps in front and is hit and dies. With the death of Barry 2, his future is also erased, thus the worlds that were collapsing stabilize again. Only Barry 1 remains, who thinks that if he lets his mother die, everything will be fine. So he runs and goes back to the past, to the moment when he put tomato sauce in his mother's basket. However, this time he puts it back on the shelf. He returns to his world, that is the present time, and everything is fine again. The next day, his father's trial was in court, and the lawyer presents a video of the moment when his father was in the market picking up tomato sauce. Here we discover that at the same moment that Barry put back the tomato sauce, he changes its position to the top shelf. Thus, his father's face is filmed by the cameras. This proved that Barry's father was not at home, and he was not the one who killed his wife. Upon leaving the court, Barry receives a call from Batman, who says he is coming to meet him. He meets another person posing as Bruce Wayne and asks where the real Batman is. The man replies that he is Batman, and we discover that his timeline is no longer the same. After everything, it shows that Barry met this world's Aquaman, who was very drunk and tries to tell him everything that happened. The end, what did you think? Let me know here in the comments. Take a look at my other videos. I think there might be something interesting for you. And if you want to help the channel, just share and leave your like. Subscribe to receive notifications of upcoming videos. See you later.